Well, hello, beautiful, loving spirits. It's me, Whimsy. Thank you so much for being with me. I decided I would quickly knock off some of my predictions for December of 2024 and some of what we're probably going to be looking towards for the new year. This is my first time doing it for the year, for the end of the year, but let's give it a shot. Number one, I do believe that Syria will fall to rebel forces. I don't think that Assad can come back from this. And I think that as soon as those rebel forces come in, they will work very hard to stabilize the area by communicating with countries like United Arab Emirates and Israel so that we don't have a situation where uh, the cure is worse than the disease, as they say. Next prediction is that we will get to ceasefire in Ukraine. I believe that a deal will be worked out probably under the Trump administration, and that's because there's enough ammo now supplied by the US to knock Russia off the map. But in order to save face and to make it look like Putin actually negotiated this whole thing, there will be a withdrawal of Russian troops from Ukraine with possibly some socioeconomic representation for Russia in Crimea as a save face so that they can have some future relationship. But it's looking like a huge defeat, and the peace treaty is going to be just a graceful way of allowing them to withdraw from the battlefield. I predict that the markets will go a little bit crazy right around Christmas time. We should be seeing a rocky market, and then it will slump, and then it'll be kind of like stable, nothing horrible happening. I do feel there's a fear around the country, and I really wish people would relax because America is made up of individuals and individual choices. And as long as you're making good choices in your life, you're going to be fine. I don't see dramatic changes actually economically. After a kind of lull energy, we have a nice pickup that starts to happen in spring and summer. So I think it's just a rocky start. People have asked me if I see Trump taking the presidency. Probably yes, but we can go ahead, we can do some cards, and we can take a look. Housing markets, I predict regarding housing markets, by the way, that they're going to continue to slump, and we won't see relief in terms of interest rates in any major way, probably until April of next year. I feel like I'm Debbie Downer today. But economy is going to be better than we had hoped. Like I said, it picks up with new contracts moving in around June of 2025. Lots of new production happening in the United States. We can all be happy about that. All right, come together and sing Kumbaya. Oh, last thing I wanted to say is that I have a terrible sense of direction. You know, the police had said that the assassin of the CEO of Universal Healthcare had been seen going east. Well, I used to live in New York and northeast, um, but I had got it backwards southwest. But anyway, the point is that when I was on the bike as the remote viewer, I went this way and then I swerved this way. So if he went into the park and then if he exits on 85th, headed east, that would mean that he's headed towards the water in that direction. They said he went into a bus stop or something, but I just feel pulled to the water on that side. So we'll see how this work plays itself out. Anyway, let's do the empath prayer. Let's go in. Let's take a look. Thanks for being here, and thank you all for your memberships, your love and support. I appreciate you. Excuse me. I appreciate you all. And thank you. Okay. I want to call on white light protection for myself and this community as we ask permission from Spirit to access the Akashic records. We call on our spirit guides and our good angels to be with us. Please give us the clarity and the wisdom that is needed to empower all of us on our journeys to make the best decisions for ourselves, our families, the planet, the people we love, but also to help those that we may have strife with. And together, collectively, we say, Amen. And I just wanted to announce a very happy holidays to everybody as we count down to Hanukkah and Christmas. Christmas and Hanukkah are both on the 25th of December. And I do have gift cards that you can purchase through Booksy if you like my work and you'd like to support my work. If you'd like to come in for a phone reading or give it as a gift to someone you love. All right. Or a naturopathic doctor's healing. I got to have a cup of coffee. This is my Pete's coffee with a little bit of cinnamon in it. I'm so real with this channel. All right. The best way to act is to not act. All right. So I'm just going to look at Trump's energy on January 20th. Trump's energy, January 20th. He's confused. There's confusion over him. This can be mental confusion, somebody who has lunacy, howling at the moon, lunatic, mental illness. He's confused. He could be on possible pharmaceuticals. Perhaps he has anxiety or fear of assassination, and for that reason, he may be placed on some kind of an anxiety medication that causes him to be a little loopy. I know if it were me, I might want to take something to help me for fear, maybe, just a little something. But the lunatic card, so he's a little bit frazzled the day of the inauguration. And the second card for Trump is the opposition sees this as a new beginning. So it is a new beginning for the Democratic Party. It is a new beginning for his opposition. We are going to rebuild the Democratic Party and find out where we lost and why we lost. So we're seeing a new beginning in the Democratic Party. The hope and the fear, January 20th for Trump. Three of Cups, dancing in the streets. He fears that the people will not show up, that the streets will be empty, or that there will be protest and that there will be fighting and disharmony rather than celebration. What he wants is a celebration. He wants the country to celebrate, come together, that he is the president, not to see fighting. This is a card of armistice and dancing in the streets. So that is what he wants, is what he hopes. And what he fears would be the tearing apart, right? The fact that there are people protesting or that people would not show up at all. And the final outcome for Trump on January 20th. He takes the oath. Yes. On January 20th, I believe that Donald Trump will take the oath. Also, he's with Archangel Gabriel, who is rights and penmanship and creation of new things. So it is a Trump presidency. I don't know if he will serve all 4 years, but based on these cards, I would predict that Donald Trump will take the presidency. He will on January 20th. Okay. Next thing, excuse me. Next things people wanted to know had to do with whether or not the student loans would continue to be forgiven or if they would be renege on the student loans. The future of student loans. The courts come in. It could go all the way to the Supreme Court. It will likely go to the Supreme Court. So what they can do, yes, they can cancel the Department of Education, but not the state departments of education. So if you have a state Department of Education, they would still be receiving federal funds. It's just that it would go directly to the state. So you have the courts coming in. The courts have come in the past over this issue of whether or not it'll stand the forgiveness of the loans. And there's the contract or evidence in the case. Was he outside of what he could do? The hopes and the fears, the family legacy, and the coin. And the final outcome, it's a go, Chariot. So, yes, if your loans have been forgiven, they are forgiven. It's gone, it's taken off. So, no, if you had your loans already forgiven, they will not come back again. Okay. And there was a couple more questions I was supposed to do before I close today, if I can just remember. Oh, yeah, do one on housing. But I don't think housing is housing, taking the swords away. The housing was overpriced. People bought too high, poverty, leaving homelessness, a lot of people not being able to afford housing, hopes and fears, the star. It's interesting that a star brings, the wise men and they didn't have a home. It's kind of an interesting imagery. Final outcome is the Queen of Cups. So, um, what's probably going to happen is just that the price of housing goes down. And unfortunately, for many people, that could be that you have to hold for a couple of years until you get your money back on your house. And like I said, I don't see interest rates going down for a while. Um, yeah. All right. I think that's all I have for you today, all I can think of. We talked about the economy. We talked about the fact that Syria was probably going to fall. We talked about the ceasefire that would probably be happening before, probably around spring of 2025 in Ukraine. We talked about the housing market. We've talked about student loans. Yeah, I think we did good. All right, if you're trying to get in for a tarot reading with me, you can find the information below this video. Be kind to all so that all will be kind to you too. God bless. Peace out. We'll see you next time. Bye, everyone.